technology,
Yes.
using technology.
And this is where you have these people that are just behind the desk or behind the screen, and they're feeding and they're listening to whatever's on the news or whatever, and they're not interacting, and so they're having these mindsets and these different influences.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have the man that's in Las Vegas, not having good social interaction with people, being a part of an organization, going out, and so he thinks it's okay to be in the window and just start shooting like he's playing a video game.
Yeah.
So I really believe a lot of that is people, even though he was of a certain age, to me, he probably spent a lot of his time as an adult.
It goes back to what was he feeding his
Shut
mindset
off.
with.
Yeah. And so you hear about kids, they're gaining weight. Little kids, they're not out playing in the yards, riding their bikes as much. You have to have a balance.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be able to know how to speak and interact socially. Because if everyone is so closed up, you won't care about your neighbor, even if you don't even know them.
Yeah.
And
well,
so
that's where the real action happens, as far as like our action gets, where people take action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, technology is great. Like social media is great for getting action to happen. As far as you look at like what happened in Egypt a little while ago, where people use like Twitter to organize protests and such, and how that helped change the scenario there a little bit. But from like people I talked to, that are from Egypt, they say it's still really bad. But just an example of how that can benefit. But at the end of the day, like I think of. And you can measure success, and success is the same no matter what time period it is.
Mm-hmm.
Success is success. Yeah. So I like to, what Martin Luther King Jr. did with his vision, as far as, he didn't really lay out a plan, and that's what spoke to me. We don't need to give details of the plan, because a lot of people get bored by that. That doesn't connect with people.
Yeah.
He laid out his dream, he laid out his vision.
Yeah. That's good.
And in a time period, 1963.
Yeah, thereabouts.
August 28th, I know the date.
Oh,
wow,
okay,
is that crazy?
nice.
Because there's a guy, I got a story behind that. But anyways, this was a time period where there was no social media. There was no way he could spread his message massively to the country, to where you would think like, wow, if you don't have like that internet to get people on board, to where 250,000 people come to Lincoln Memorial and listen to what he has to say, like that just shows you, first off, the power of communicating verbally, like in person, and how it hits people, and how people don't necessarily agree with what they agree with what he's saying, but it's more with what he's standing for, and that's what people want in that period in time, and especially, sure, still today, I would imagine so.
Yeah.
But that, like, I just think of that example based on what you were talking about, like as far as like people don't know how to communicate, kind of thing. Like that just shows you like how powerful it can be.
To actually literally change a country, like he and what he stood for, and the thing about it was nonviolent, and he wasn't talking about separatism. He was just saying, let's all get along.
Yeah.
We just want equal rights.
Yeah.
But he wasn't talking about being separate and you're evil and all that stuff. No, he was talking about evil, but he wasn't pinpointing a certain group. But
he's holding on to. I know you probably noticed. I keep saying this a lot, but he's holding on to the why. Like, why is this?
Yeah.
Why should you care? Why should we all be on the same page for this? And how it can make just the environment or our home, being in this case just the U.S., a better place to live, a better place to enjoy the human experience with other people around us, and not be so negative.
And we've been a beacon. We are a beacon for the world. People die to get here, to experience the freedom, and so. And
it's hard because like a lot of people take it for granted because you're born into it, and you never had that experience of knowing any other difference. And I'm really grateful for myself in the sense like I've self-awareness at the age I'm at to know that, and I can definitely admit though, growing up, it's not something I thought about as far as like, wow, I'm so appreciative I'm born in the U.S. That happened more so probably when I was like 19 or 20 kind of thing, but just knowing there's people out there that really struggled to get to the U.S. And I always like those stories. You hear people that get to the U.S. from whatever country, and they know the struggle they had to get to go to the U.S., and that really feeds their fire for entrepreneurial stories and their success, because they realize, wow, back in my home country, we don't have free enterprise. We don't have the ability to be an entrepreneur. We don't have the ability to really pursue what we want to do. And because of that, I'm not going to complain, whatever it goes down in the U.S., like, I'm just going to make it happen, because we have the freedom to make it happen.
Yeah. And the U.S. is like, probably about, maybe, I don't think it was 10 years ago. It could have been 10 years ago. I went to a friend of mine. He's from Africa, Nigeria. Him and his wife got their citizenship.
Okay.
And I went to the ceremony. And I've never been before. You would have thought I was getting my citizenship.
Really?
I sat there and cried like a baby. I cried. It was so moving. And it opened my eyes. I was like, oh my God, what is wrong? Like, I never really appreciated. It just opened my eyes. And I was like, why are these people crying? Like, thank God I'm here. Oh my God, thank you for that. I'm so glad I'm in America. I mean, it was just...
Oh, so they were getting a citizenship. They were originally from Nigeria, and they're getting a citizenship in the U.S.?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
He'd been here like 20 years. And he probably was like 10 years too late. He should have done it a while ago. But it just was amazing sitting through that ceremony. I literally, it shifted me completely to where I didn't appreciate that I was here. And I unfortunately was raised in an environment where you just focused on the negative and the problems.
It goes negative, and you're in that, like I always say, it's a survival state, the day to day.
Yeah.
And so, like, once you get, that's probably a big portion of like what allows you to get that self awareness is when you don't have to be in that day to day survival sense, because you're always focusing on, like, whether it's bills to pay, whether it's food, housing, like those three aspects. Once you don't have to think about that, then that's when your mind can really be powerful and not be pressed down.
Yeah.
That's from other people I've talked to that have gone through a little bit of like trying to become a citizen in the U.S. Like, it's quite the process, and especially like the questions they ask, where they have to take tests and stuff. Like, there's a lot of stuff I would not know whatsoever.
They kicked me out.
And it's just crazy because you think about, like, gosh darn it, I got handed citizenship here. Like, even though like my parents birthed me here, like, I still got handed it. Like, I didn't have to do anything. I just became a citizen because of that.
Yeah.
And like, if you really want to think about, like, first off, the probability of being born a human is rare in itself.
Yeah.
The chance of that happening. But then if you analyze even more, just being born in the U.S.
Right.
Man, like, those are two grateful aspects right there. And appreciative aspects.
You could have been born in Egypt or Czechoslovakia.
And my life could be already cut off by now. I could either be stuck in a predetermined role, because it's really impossible to get out of based off class divide and such, and there's really no opportunity, or I could be dead.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And so I tell you what, I mean, they were singing the songs, they were saying the pledge. I just wanted to sit there. I wanted to get up and sit in with the people, and I wanted to go up and get my certificate and a flag. And I just wanted to do it. I just I felt like I was going through my own, like, this is my ceremony too. Like,
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like I've gone through a period when I was, where I just didn't really, like, I didn't feel like prideful for being an American kind of thing. There's times like I don't know, like I travel around a lot, so I don't know if like it's hard to say how I describe myself.
Are you one of those? But you know what? Look, when I went overseas, I did behave like one of them Americans that, I wasn't like a total jerk.
Oh, I don't do that.
But I was like,
as far as being prideful for my country, like, I only say, like, I'm pride, but like, I just know there's so many other people out there, like, from other countries, and just their level of pride to their country, it's something like I don't feel for my country. I'm like, man, like, that is I want to say it kind of bugs me in the sense, like, I I cannot anywhere say that I have that level of pride, and I feel like I would want to rep my country and up until I die kind of thing. Obviously that would be the case, but it's just something.
You know, honestly, when I look at it, the way the world is set up, there is a need for a leader. There is a need, there's a need. I mean, the way America is set up, there's nothing wrong with us being in the forefront. Because I think in principle, we want to help other nations and we look out for the nations, and so there's a need for us to be in a position we're in. You know what I'm saying? And I think as a country, I think we understand that. And so it's nothing to be ashamed of, and there's nothing wrong with being at the top.
Oh, yeah.
It's a need, and we give back. We help other nations, at least as much as what I know and what I've been told. But I'm not ashamed of it. And I'm not apologizing that I'm American and that.
Well, I don't think we should ever be ashamed of it.
Yeah. So, no apologies.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I try not to, what do they say, how they call us overseas when we go over there. The American. I can't remember. It's not the American jerk, but it's just the American privilege, the privileged American or whatever. I don't know.
There's privilege. Privilege exists anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
No matter how class divided a country is, the people that are top are privileged. Born the privilege kind of thing. But yeah, I got what you're saying.
But even those in other countries, when you're American, it's like they almost. Sometimes a lot of those people, some of them will bow to you, I
guess that's the cool thing about America. The more I think about it, as far as going back to people that immigrate and become a citizen of the U.S. And they have such a pride of the U.S. That's cool in that sense, because that's what America is. Especially look at when America was really starting out, you had all the immigration and stuff, and that's how it came about. That's how it became such an innovative country. And yeah, the more I think about it, the more we're talking about. I got pride.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it wasn't just one group.
Oh yeah,
it wasn't just one group that did it. Yeah.
From all over, which is a really cool thing.
A tapestry of humanity.
Yeah. To be a leader of it, to be an example throughout the world. And that's an interesting thing. What if it didn't happen? Where would the world be at right now? Would be farther back in time as far as this separation of cultures and stuff? If we didn't have the U.S. and all these different people from all over the world coming together, living together, creating a cultural melting pot, to then where a lot of times innovation flourishes, and then you have then new relationships being created that would never ever else happen, and then you have exchanging of ideas, exchanging of value, exchanging of traits, and then it's interesting to look at that too and think about that.
The British would be in charge if America wasn't here. God help. Nothing.
The what ifs.
Yeah. No shade against the
red
British.
coats. Are they the red coats or the blue coats? Are they red coats?
I think they were the red. Were they the red?
I don't know. Hard to say because the American flag is red and blue.
Yeah. Who knows? But I don't know. I got several rants I can go on. I'm not going to. I have lots of rants.
The main thing is we can agree.
Yes.
We're prideful about the U.S. and being so appreciative and grateful of the opportunities that are there. They're here in the U.S. That are there. We're in the U.S. right now that we have, and that we are exercising our freedom, and we intend to continue to not take it ever for granted or lightly, and make the most of it.
And help others. The struggles we had in America, the struggles even with the racial things, it has helped. I think it has helped every minority group in the world.
Oh yeah.
To bring freedom and demand, equal rights for the minority groups.